I like to consider prefabs as blueprints because if you have a blueprint, you can create one same object over and over again. For example, if I create a tree, but I don't just want one tree, I want 100 trees. I could copy paste this. This is okay if you don't want to make any changes, but what if I want to make a change to the leaves here? If I want to make it bigger, for example, I now would have to change every single one of them and they would all be different. But let's say I have a prefab. I'm going to delete everything and let me create a prefab called tree. I'm going to create a prefab by dragging this into the project window. Now that I have a tree blueprint in my project window, I can delete this. I can still create as many trees as I want, and they're going to be exactly the same. And if I want to make changes to every single one of them, let's say I change one. If I click apply, they all get changed. And let me save the scene because I want to make another scene. So if I have a new scene, but if I don't have any prefabs, I would have to go through the creation process over again. But since I have the blueprint right here, I can create the same tree over again in a different scene. And if I want to make changes to just one of these trees, I would have to create another prefab. So I'm going to duplicate, but I'm going to change the name to tree number 2. And I'm going to turn this into a separate prefab by dragging it again. Now I have 2 different blueprints. I'm going to change the color here. And let me click apply. If I want a yellow tree, I would just drag in the yellow tree. And if I want the original tree, I would drag it in again. The locations are all fucked up, but that's not the point. The game objects that are not prefabs are colored in white. The prefabs are colored in blue. So now imagine not just trees. If you have prefabs for characters, enemies, background objects, and so on, you can now go into individual levels and design the game just by placing those objects into wherever you want.